What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another amazing video, and today we are talking about how to welcome you to 2XKO. So this video is more of just me going through what 2XKO is all about and basically just telling you what are some pretty good tips that you can go into the game. If you're looking for combos or if you're looking for specifics like how do you deal with XYZ character, those will come in the future, so be on the lookout for that. But until then, here's how to get started with 2XKO. First and foremost, you want to figure out what's the fuse for you. Okay, for me, it was 2X assist. If you want to go down the traditional tag fighter route, you should check out Double Down. It combines super attacks with your assist. You can still swap in between them, and if anything, it's a pretty good way to get used to how this game's mechanics work. Now, if you're someone who has played BB Tag, for example, 2X Assist is a really fun one to use. And if you're someone that really is creative or wants to go down combo routes that just keeps on schmixing you, Freestyle is also just as good, where you can do handshake tags in one sequence. There are a couple of other fuses, for example, like Juggernaut and Sidekick, that are more focused on you wanting to learn one character but still get to enjoy the benefits of having an assist, as well as also being able to go ahead and use your character as the point character. So right now, those are the fuses that exist in the game as far as going through closed beta. So with those fuses, you want to decide what makes your character unique and what you feel like could fit your playstyle. I really think with the fuses, if there's one way to approach fuse systems, it's actually deciding what is your playstyle. If this is your first fighting game, then this is where I would tell you choose the fuses that go ahead and focus on learning one character. Learning two characters can be tough. Trust me, I'm one of the few that doesn't learn combo routes very easily. But if you're looking to go ahead and just kind of understand how the game plays and looking for more of an idea of how those defensive mechanics work, how the offensive mechanics work, Juggernaut and Sidekick are just as a good fuse to start with as you get used to the other ones. And again, if you're someone that's more of a veteran fighting game player, whether it be for a tag fighter or just go back and forth on cross-ups and mix-ups, then the other fuses do just as a good job. With that being said, let's talk about the different characters that you're going to be approaching here in the closed beta. So with the closed beta comes a variety of characters, and actually let's talk about them. So every character in this game is defined by an archetype, and here in 2XKO, the following archetypes are pretty important. You have all-rounder champions, you have bruiser champions, grapplers, mix-up, rush-down, strikers, and zoners. Now, what you want to understand is what is that playstyle that makes the most sense for you. For me, I'm the type that I enjoy Ahri, which is definitely rush down and mix up heavy, and of course Yasuo, who has just an all-around balance. He has good buttons, good damage, good mix-ups, good setups, good Oki, all around a really strong character. But if you're someone that wants to go ahead and play full screen range, Jinx does a great job at doing that, being the game's premier zoner. And if you're someone that wants to go ahead and play up in close range and take a lot of hits, Illaoi is another great example of taking all that damage. And of course, you can't have your game without your grapplers. Blitzcrank does a great job at being able to just catch people off guard with that Blitz Buster. I almost called it Potemkin Buster. Now, one thing that you do want to understand is that if you're going to be using or choosing a character based off their assists, you do want to look a little bit beyond how that would work for you with the fuses in mind. So as I mentioned, we talked about the different champions and the different archetypes. Let's actually talk about the specific champions themselves. Again, Ahri is your rushdown, Blitzcrank is your grappler, Braum's your bruiser, Darius is your striker, so a lot of strike throw mix right there. Echo's your heavy mix-up character, Illaoi is your bruiser, Jinx is your zoner, and Vi is your rushdown, with Yasuo being your all-rounder. Right now, there's a character for every type of style, but don't worry. At some point, your character or your champion that you're looking for may just end up in it. I think the great question that you probably are asking is, how do I find a character that fits me? I don't have a character that I'm really in love with. I don't really follow League. So how do I find a character that fits me? Well, to be honest, what are you looking for? Are you looking for really cool characters like that can create a really nice sequence for combo and damage? Or are you looking for someone simple, straightforward, and easy to pick up? 2XKO right now has a variety where you can do exactly that. And you can take a look at the champion's ratings. Depending on what you're looking for, whether it be you want a character that has good mobility or just really easy to pick up, you can actually view that in the champion screen here for 2XKO. So again, what exactly you are looking for is key here. Now, as far as how to play the game and what are some of the defensive mechanics, I've talked a little bit about what defensive mechanics are in 2XKO back in the Alpha Lab. However, obviously, a lot of that has changed, rightfully so. But I think the one thing that you want to understand here is that 2XKO is pretty straightforward, even though there's a couple of things to keep in. When it comes to how to play defense, you do have your standard air recoveries as well as your tech throws. So, that's pretty natural for most of an anime game or a tag fighter. But what you want to keep in mind is how to do retreating guard, parry, how to actually use your assist, especially when you want to get push block, how to actually activate your break, as well what's the difference between break and fury, and then of course your get up attack, as well of course your handshake tags and your tag launchers. So let's kind of dive in a little bit on why it's important to know a little bit of everything. Right now, I'm going to start with the strongest in the game in my personal opinion. That is parry. Parry is a really strong mechanic that with just the use of one bar, and you gain it back once you get a perfect parry, it is imperative that you definitely know how to use it. You can make parry as a macro button, so that's really good there. But also, more than anything, it's about making sure to catch your opponent off guard in their combo route. Parry is one of those mechanics that's going to cover gaps for you, whereas with reversal supers and moves, it doesn't really exist. I mean, it's going to work some of the time, but again, you want to have a backup plan for when they try to bait it out. The next one that you're going to want to learn is, of course, your push block. So with your push block, unlike the Alpha Labs, right now it's your actual assist that helps you with push block. So they actually help you with going ahead and taking some space, allow you a chance to get out of a corner pressure situation. Now, if you're looking to go ahead and actually use like a get up attack, that's also just as good. Very similar to like an invincible attack, however, it can be baited. And then if you're looking to go ahead and not deal with all that damage being dished out, that is where your break comes in. Now be in mind a couple of things. Break is only available for fuses that are actively using your assists. So for example, Juggernaut players and Sidekick players, those won't be available for you. Instead, you'll have Fury, which is just as strong. So when a character either gets eliminated or you're using a one character style fuse, Fury comes into play and allows you to not only do damage, but recovers health and allows you to do a Fury dash cancel. It's one of 2XKO's greatest comeback mechanics, and it's definitely worth understanding how to do your B&Bs when you're in that situation. And then, of course, you have your handshake tags. So with your handshake tags and quick tags, you definitely want to make sure you know the bit of a difference. Quick tag is when you're just in the middle of the screen or at the start of the round where you can quickly switch out your characters. Handshake tag is while you still have a character on the screen, you can go ahead and tag out. And if you're looking to get some launchers and actually continue the combo with your fellow character, that's where tag launcher comes in as well. Again, 2XKO is not too complicated, but there's a couple of things that you're going to want to make sure you're keeping in mind. I also want to mention retreating guard. While it was pretty strong in Alpha Lab, it is one of the more defensive mechanics that I haven't found a lot of use just yet. Not only do you have to be in block stun for it, but it's a very big mechanic that, even though it sounds pretty important, a lot of the characters right now are going to be reaching. So use it wisely. There's a lot more that we can get into, but I don't want to overload you. So I think the biggest thing I want to leave you here with is when you're trying out to When you are trying out 2XKO, keep an open mind. There's a lot to learn, it's a lot of depth, but it's just as fun. Invite people to help you out, hop on with your duos, and of course, be able to sit with them so that you can go ahead and play some really cool fighting games. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave in the comments below. And as I mentioned before, I'm more than happy to dive in a bit deeper, especially with characters like Ahri and Yasuo. Thanks guys, have a great one!